all great plays here, and we are underway. Obviously, we're going to get our wood sword here at the start, unless you're crazy. Wouldn't know any runners who've done that.
I have been tempted from time to time. We do have those dark nuts on the overworld, and a bit of a route divergence right away. Janthe going to Vanilla 1, SassageLink trying to get that bomb drop, and gonna be checking out the shop, it looks.
Gets that bomb drop, there is I want to say it's a 25% chance that the first enemy, if it is a bomb dropping enemy, will drop a bomb, and we have level 1 in Vanilla 1.
It's about a 40% chance to get a drop from the B enemy group, so to speak. But, oh, that's not a very good starting spot for level.
No, that's a lot of sword beams in your face. And level... Alright, now I got questions.
Is this even randomized? Also, not even just the fact that there's Lionels everywhere, there seem to be lots of key doors. Ay.
Early power bracelet in 3, not necessarily a required item, but depending on 9's location, that can be very helpful as Janthe. Oh, the reverse compass, where you find the compass then the Triforce instead of the Triforce and the compass.
And it looks like a segmented 1. We're not going to get that Triforce item combo. It's oh so fun. Do you have some Pulse Voice in 3, though? Seems like the other enemies are pretty easy. He's gonna try and respawn the enemies due to the way the enemy ordering works. Picks up a key for his troubles. Well, Janthe.
Ooh, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. We've got Wizrobes and Lionels in the same dungeon. That's disgusting.
Well, we gotta worry out for future dungeons, but for now it seems like it's not too horrible. We do get that map. Name that ink blot?
That's a triple segmented 1.
And not just any triple segmented one. Those are some of the most distinct segments I think I've ever seen.
I do believe Sausage is discovering this 3 is not difficult, but we're going to get a map here, and ooh. That's an interesting.
That actually looks very similar to the 5 I actually had last night. Just a little bit smaller. People were calling it a Yoshi, a cat, a puppy, a variety of small animals.
Well, it is definitely a small animal, and stuffed full of small animals as we've got more keys.
Janthe doing the dig once again. Fortunately, these red Lionels do go down in 1 bomb, so they did not get plus shuffle. We do have enemy HP shuffle on, so gotta always keep that in mind. Sometimes enemies will take more or less HP, or hits than you'd think.
Oh, we have a bomb upgrade, and a cheap bomb upgrade at that here in 1. I do like Janthe going in here and digging 1 as much as possible. The 3 items, not able to get them out at this point, as Sausage going to grab his Triforce out of 3 and complete 3 at this point. But, you know, 1 can be very rewarding if you can get the items out early and quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just were key blocked from, looks like, all 3 items.
Yeah, with 1 key here, SassageLink, if he goes to 1 at this point, will have a chance to potentially do a single trip into 1. We'll have to see what the rest of that dungeon looks like, but we're going to get a power bracelet usage here. And I really like this play.
Oh yeah, that power bracelet early on, it's just... The earlier on you get the power bracelet, the more time exponentially it saves you.
Well, not just that, but this screen has a 60% chance of having the Armos item on it. As we find level 7 where level 6 goes. So Sausage is going to see if you can discover the Armos item, and if not, we're going to figure out where that Armos item actually is.
Now, we did see Janthe take a look at the Armos, see that it's a staircase and not the item, but then they did not enter the staircase and actually see where the Armos item really is.
It's the small secret. So that is the Armos in the forest, in the far east forest, actually.
Meanwhile, did you see that bait block in 7?
Bait.
That was really early on. We might not be able to find a workaround for that one.
So Janthe is going to come over here into 3. We're going to see where SassageLink goes. With the knowledge of where the Armos item is, yeah, exactly. I expect him to go straight to the Armos item at this point.
Yeah, prioritizing those free items early on is, some people call it the keys to winning these matches.
It can definitely change the seed. It can also be 3 heart containers. But this Janthe's going to pick up the power brush. Oh, there's the raft is our Armos item. So that's an interesting choice here. And right away, you're able to come in and check what's in Vanilla too. So I really don't mind this route at all. I mind the screen a little bit.
Well, it could be worse. At least they don't have projectiles.
Ooh. Level 9 at level 2. I find this to be one of my least favorite locations for 9 to be. There's not a lot of good transport locations here. Especially if what's in Vanilla 8 turns out to be the last Triforce you get. Or not necessarily the last, but an early Triforce, and the Recorder's the last thing you find. It's still not just a great location ever.
Yeah, really just if the Recorder is the last item you get in general, things start to get annoying. I don't
really
think
like
we've actually seen a candle around yet.
No, we haven't seen a candle yet. We're gonna get a good look at the coast here real quick. Along that, yeah, my favorite spot to see 9 is like raft or recorder block. That way you know it's not gonna cause you problem.
As long as 9 isn't vanilla, I'd take pretty much anything else.
Yeah, that's also another fun location. We'll see when our runners make their way up there. As Janthe has gone through level 3, didn't get the heart container, so couldn't come back in and possibly clear this out.
Well,
Shopping for bombs here.
Ooh, taking the unfortunate death. Sometimes it's death by 1,000 cuts and not from the heavy hitters.
I mean, the good news here is, one, we know it's a heart container, and it's pretty quick into the 3, so it's not the worst thing. It's gonna send him on a different path for a little bit, so this might actually help as far as getting key items to not go back into 3.
Well, SassageLink is grabbing several hearts from these Take Any Caves. Going to be heading up to Vanilla 5. And we'll see if he decides
Gonna
White
head
Sword
to the
first.
Yeah, White Sword first. I kind of like the idea of going White Sword first. My only problem with it is if this screen ends up being really nasty and you die on it, it's a long walk.
Yeah, and sometimes it just doesn't pay off, but that's really the risk. You never know when items will pay off or not. Now, it might have been worth it to pick up that book just because we haven't seen a candle in a shop yet, so you could do the wand trick to get into Vanilla 8. I think the enemy set was acceptable.
Yeah, we'll get a look here on Janthe's screen to see. I definitely would consider picking up the book there, but we've got level 2 at Vanilla 5.
And an early map. Name that ink blot, folks. Your guess is mine.
This definitely has a chance to be an extremely annoying 2. 2 in vanilla is, very hard to block off, but this, with just one room at a time, could very well have several blocks in here that we have to deal with.
Yeah. not just key blocks or bomb blocks, but just perhaps there's just a room filled with difficult enemies that, even with 6 hearts, Wood Sword takes a while.
Or, if you get a Goma or a Dig Dogger rolling in, you get a ladder block. It could very easily just, each room could just be a new block as you go through.
Yeah, I've had that before. You just enter a room, you see, oh, I need a key to get pie. Oh, well, I come back with a key, and then, oh, I need the ladder. Come back with the ladder. Oh, I need to kill a Goma. One right after the other. Janthe making their way along, grabbing some money in the, money around. Good idea. The, arrows, candle, very nice to have.
That combat block.
Yeah, two-headed Gleeok, not the worst thing you can find. Could be worse. Could have more heads. Could have 4 heads.
Yeah, but
get your emotes in chat.
Put on one heart, it's a very delicate dance that Sausage is going to have to do.
Yeah, what I would have done is just up A and come back with my full 3 hearts. He only got like 1 hit in before getting down to 1 heart, so I think it would have been just better to try again, but he's been doing a good job.
And then the Gleeok gets you. It happens. The worst one's the from the grave. As we find out, the vanilla secret's also vanilla. The 100 spot is $100.
Lots of vanilla this seed. SassageLink deciding, I don't want to try that Gleeok again, and I don't blame him. That grid room is not an easy room to kill a Gleeok in, of any number of heads. Janthe checking those shops, trying to find candle, trying to find arrows, just trying to find maybe even a bomb shop. Any shop of use.
I definitely find knowledge in these seeds can lead to a lot more of an interesting route choice. Knowing where the dungeons are and kind of knowing where your shops and what's there lets you make better decisions quicker. So I like what we're seeing here from these 2 runners as far as get the knowledge and then get in.
Yeah, they say knowledge is power, and speaking of power,
some
not really sure what
really
kind of segue that is, but we're going into level
some
1
really
for
good
Sausage.
some really good Wi-Fi power in here.
Let's go with that. More red Wizrobes. Apparently I'm colorblind. I was gonna say blue for a moment.
No, that's later. Don't worry, they'll be here.
I'm gonna blame you for that one. Janthe having a party with some blue Gorillas shouldn't be too much of an issue if they just take it carefully.
We'll see what Janthe wants to do with the Gleeok room when they run into it, as SassageLink gets the business end of that awful room.
But the worst part about that was he was like 3-4 frames from picking up a clock. He was running for it. Really unfortunate. Might just be better. I don't think it was a shutter door on the other side. Might be better to just go to the other end, try again later. Although, was it double block?
I believe it was I wanna say it was the push block shutter door. I think you had to clear that room to open the door.
Fair enough. Now I don't get why SassageLink is clearing this room again. He cleared it the first time, and he's got max bomb count.
Maybe hearts, or build a fairy count up, but he's not getting much reward out of
healing.
No, it is just an open door. Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't know if it's the staircase item or not, which it could be. We haven't seen any of the items on Janthe's side when they were there.
Oh, we did miss it on Janthe's side. The white sword is in 2.
Oh. Janthe doing a bit of a cleaner job killing that Gleeok.
Yeah, you had to get through the Gleeok to get it.
Nothing important blocked by this ladder block, but that doesn't mean we won't find other ladder blocks in here. Janthe has to be careful. They are running really low on bombs, although we do see that free Triforce. Picking it up. Not going for that second item.
Well, we'll see if Janthe goes back in to dig it out, or if we go bomb hunting. Which looks like what we're going to do here.
I guess, fair enough. Bombs are important.
Well, there's those 5 rooms down there, and the last thing you want to do is have to burn... You know, you've got 3 keys. I'd much rather burn a bomb than a key.
Oh, definitely. SassageLink now finding that this set of northern room going to be granted with the map 1, which will help his exploration quite a bit. I think a key was blocking the eastern or the western room, and yeah, it was. So we couldn't actually go here on Janthe's side.
Now 2 is much more like what I'd expect. The compass after the Triforce. Oh, 2 is loaded with combat upgrades. Get the wand on the floor.
Wand and White Sword, although that pretty much guarantees you're gonna fight that Gleeok without either of those, unless you just somehow come back with the Magic Sword. Fortunately, it is only 2-headed.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Sausage waits that long. Now, it's absolutely possible you get that many hearts that quickly, but I'd be almost stunned if he doesn't go back into 2 with a couple more hearts.
Yeah, I'd also be shocked. Maybe just even 2 more hearts. Maybe if you're really not confident, a potion. Maybe we find the red ring on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, now interesting here, Chance not picking up the book either. At this point, I believe we know where the candle shop is. I believe it is either the Armos or the shop here at the Forgotten Spot. I think those are the only 2 shops we haven't seen.
That would be correct.
So at this point, the decision is: do I care? I have the money at 187 rupees. I have the money to buy any candle. Do I really care about buying the candle or not at this point?
Yeah, at this point, I would actually agree. Although I don't. It's not necessarily a well-known trick that you can use candle or wand fire to open that place, or just open overworld spots in general. But I would definitely agree that not picking up the book, just because you can afford the candle so easily, it's pretty worth it.
Yeah, and we get level 5 up on Death Mountain. This is one of the more frustrating moments in a seed, at least as far as what I've seen. When you have one of the larger dungeons hanging out here on Death Mountain, there's a good chance that what you want in here is going to be blocked in some way. And now you're going to have to make several trips up the mountain, and it's never just a short walk up here.
Yeah, every time you go to Vanilla 9, you always want to make sure you can full clear in one go, which can be tricky. Although, speaking of tricky, let's talk about this level 1 for a moment. This is going to be a transport staircase leading to that vertical line of 3 on the left and the bottom, and each one of those rooms will have an item.
Well, this 3 is just... or this 1, sorry, is not giving up the items at all.
Oh, that room is going to be a pain to clear.
Yeah, you clear the other 2 first.
Yeah. You just hope that it's not going to have a good item. Gotta be careful. Oh no! He got hit as the Dodonga was gonna drop a bomb.
Oh, apparently we found ladder in 1.
Oh, ladder? My mistake then.
Oh wow, this 1 is also loaded. We've got ladder and any key as Janthe picks up the Triforce in 5. I didn't see anything else yet.
And final room of 1. Just some keys. You'd much rather clear that than the party of Wizards.
You clear this first and hope the item shows up. Nope. Party of Wizards.
And I don't blame Sausage for questioning if he wants to clear that. Looks like he's just gonna get the Triforce and hope that it's not important.
Well, it's not the bow, because that's in 5.
And
As we
that's
find.
it's very important. And we're only 20 minutes in, but we found quite a number of really important items so far. We're only missing the flute and the silver arrows. Silver arrows, I'd say, a bit less important because, of course, they can be enough.
Right, but you're never going to complain to see them early at this point. Not
Of
digging
course
for
not.
items in 9 is always preferred.
So, Sausage, going to make that beeline for that raft spot. We have seen a lot of the early dungeons so far, though, so 6, 7, 8, and 4, apparently, are left.
Okay. Well, it's just going to be 6 and 8, because 7 is up in vanilla 6's spot. So we should, once we find the recorder or a candle, we'll get an idea where our last 2 dungeons are. But yeah, a lot of vanilla here today.
Yeah, so far this race can go really either way. Both runners have pretty significant advantages. It's pretty close. We do see that Dig Dogger in 5. And hopefully it's not going to be blocking anything.
Floor item 4, just that heart container. Nothing too major. Sausage is going to do a ladder clip here to continue. Not required at any point in the game, so there should be another wall or way into this room from that bottom side.
But it certainly makes it a lot more convenient. SassageLink not going to get anything from this room. Doesn't drop in level 4. But we do find that bomb hole. This may be the workaround, or it might be completely useless. What is this, a zoo?
That is the best petting zoo ever. Keep the Dodongos in the cage, please.
Janthe, we did find that bow, so it's certainly not a bust. I actually find that map, name that ink. I'm thinking like a really fat, diagonal, wide arrow pointing down left.
I can see that as Sausage finds a manhandler here. Not necessarily a room you're going to want to deal with, right? Janthe finds one too. Oh.
And
a potential ladder block here.
I think that ladder block is a bit more worrying than the manhandler. Because Janthe did bail on one pretty early. Not having enough keys. Did get the Triforce from it, and I wonder how long it'll take for them to go back.
It's 1. I would imagine that you'll go back pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially 1 at 1.
Yep, that's a full-on ladder block there.
And looks like every other room was explored, so the second item and the Triforce we're gonna need to make another trip for.
So Sausage Link's going to take a health refill. Might be heading up to 7 at this point to do a little bit more exploration. Or back into 4, maybe?
Looks like he just wanted the health refill. Which I don't blame him.
No, we're going shopping.
Not gonna be able to do much shopping with only 56 rupees. Make that 61 if he picks up that blue.
Ooh, those are some pricey bombs.
Wow, this stuff's expensive.
Not wrong.
91 rupee arrows also to keep in mind.
So do you think that puts our candle at the Forgotten Spot shop set?
I believe it would have to. Which neither runner has really put much effort into getting that.
Now, I kind of understand that at this point. I for one, don't like to buy the candle in this flag set. I very much like to grab a wand or find a candle, and then when the seed says, "Okay, you have to go buy a candle," then I'll go look in shops at that point.
Personally, I like to get as early a candle as possible, just mainly because it lets you do a lot more routing options with regards to burning for large secrets and, of course, entering Vanilla 8 earlier. And even if you really need the take any under 1. Now, we do see Janthe in 4. We do see that heart container. And we might see the workaround that SassageLink bypassed. If I had to guess, it would just be bomb left from that T-room. Or bomb north. That works too. We do get that compass.
Bomb everywhere, but yeah, the compass here is a little bit more important. I don't believe SassageLink got the compass in 4. I didn't see it.
No, SassageLink did not. He's going to be finding that candle, and well, that's cheap.
That's not a bad price for the candle, actually. I'm okay with that here.
Candle can, of course, be randomized between 40 and 80 rupees, so exceptionally good. I do wonder how long it'll take for him to go back there. Although with only levels 6 and 8 left to be unfound, might want to explore the rest first.
Yeah, I think this is one of those times where, with what we've seen, as much as people give level 7 a lot of grief, this is a good time to go in. If you can full clear it and get the items out, it's a really good opportunity to get either a progression item or at least some extra heart containers, to start considering what you're going to do with these larger dungeons you're going to have to dig. And you've already seen a pretty nasty enemy set in 1.
Now, we do see that bait block. Is there a workaround? Janthe just saw this and had to leave. Troll Dongo?
We're going to get a good smoked Dodongo. Hyrule's finest delicacies. Not a substitute for bait.
Well, if we can bomb north, there might be a workaround. Sausage does have the ladder, so he can go down, which also might work around it if it's just a transport staircase to the north of the bait.
Yeah, you're not working around that room without a little bit of extra effort.
Yeah, so much for that hard enemy set being in 1. It's also in 7. And yeah. I believe actually the 3rd time we've seen this enemy set.
Yeah, not gonna lie. My statements on 7, I'm taking them back here. I go.
We also lack a bow and arrows on Sausage this time. Blocked everywhere. Blocked from Agoma, blocked by Blue Wizrobes, blocked by a ladder clip, which he could do if he's getting creative. Blocked by bait. Janthe finding a magic staircase, taking him directly above the Triforce. But is it gonna take him directly above the staircase item?
Oh. That's a very interesting forehand. It appears to take... Oh, wow. This could be huge.
Yeah, that's a nice free staircase item. What do we have?
I mean... not as huge as it could have been.
But it's still nice to get this dungeon out of the way. SassageLink did have to leave after only getting the 1 floor heart container.
Yeah, you're never unhappy about finishing a dungeon and knowing it's off the board. I don't have to come back here, even if it is double heart.
And without a red ring, or really any ring of anything, no potions, you're never going to object to heart.
Yeah, and with the enemy set that we've seen, even more so.
Sausage, getting that ladder clip, what's in this room?
Well,
A dig
it's not
dogger!
going to be the recorder.
Every room has a unique block. Dig Dogger, Goma, Blue Wizrobes, Party of a lot, and a bait block. This 7 is just saying, come back later with everything.
Yeah, this 7's quite a thing. I think at this point you have to consider possibly engaging this room a little bit, seeing if you can get through it. Sausage is not gonna bother, but I do think this might be one of those times where you go ahead and say, I'm gonna take this room on once or twice, and if it doesn't go well, then I bounce.
That is a play. I personally would be a bit more inclined to go to Vanilla 8 at this point, simply because you've got the power bracelet to get back there, and even if the Blue Wizrobe room can be cleared, with so many other blocks, there's no guarantee that it'll lead to anything, and then you've just wasted your time and your bombs.
Now, Janthe is going to come back into this one, much better prepared with the keys. Should be able to get the rest of the goodies out of here. Just the any key, the ladder. Might decide to try to get that third item out of the wizard room. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
You certainly will have a much better chance at doing it than the SassageLink.
Yeah, White Sword and Wand, definitely a huge improvement over Wood Sword and a couple of bombs. And Sausage is going to get poke level 5 for a little bit. We'll see if he's able to find the bow and Triforce if he decides to dig the second item out of here. That was a heart container, so...
Did we see a heart container in 5?
We did.
Okay, fair enough.
Sausage is going to have a lot easier time with this Blue Land Molar room, though, because they're allergic to water.
Again, though, just relying on Wood Sword, essentially a quarter of the damage that Janthe is going to be putting out. It's really gonna take a lot longer to clear some of these rooms if they're filled with high HP enemies. Now, getting the simultaneous important item pickup, ladder on Janthe's side, and that bow from SassageLink.
Yeah, this will kind of knot our runners back up at even here. Janthe has a slight advantage with the combat upgrades. I say slight because it doesn't help versus Wizrobes. I mean, the White Sword does, but you know the wand's not doing you much good. So it's just a minor combat upgrade in rooms like this.
Honestly, I would say that Janthe actually now has a bit of a commanding lead. It might be a bit early to say that, but I mean, Janthe has all of 4 explored. Janthe is about to even up on 1, which was one of SassageLink's only advantages. Now Janthe doesn't have a candle yet, but the full clear of 2 sans the Triforce, I think.
Oh, the third item was the red ring in that Wizrobe room.
Oh, that is brutal. At this point,
yeah,
I'm even
that changes it drastically. It's no longer slight. This is Jeff definitely leaning Janthe. Now, don't get me wrong. Silvers can still be an absolute troll. We've had all sorts of madness finding ladders and bows and other items in these tournament races. The recorder could be no different. It could hide an 8 and be in this ridiculous bomb hole that you have to get into. But yeah, right now Janthe has a huge advantage with that red ring and White Sword now.
Yeah, Janthe could might even be able to just take on level 7. Take on that Blue Wizard room, maybe even full clear. Now, again, we don't have the no arrows, but actually Janthe... I'm looking at Janthe's money, and I could have sworn that they had about 200 rupees not that long.
Probably bought arrows. I didn't see it happen, but I would not surprise me at this point. I would definitely, once you get the bow, I'm not necessarily inclined to go just immediately buy arrows, but if I know what's in the underworld, as Sausage is dealing with one of my favorite enemies in the underworld, bunnies, yeah, give me the arrows.
And yeah, arrows would do Sausage a world of good here.
Well, Janthe is looking for the candle. Still hadn't found it. No, actually, I don't see arrows in there.
I believe arrows were at the.
I'm talking
Bee
about
shop?
in Janthe's menu. I didn't see any
Oh, sorry.
arrows.
Maybe they bought a bomb upgrade.
He did. I believe he did buy the bomb upgrade. Actually,
I think this room filled with Pulse Voice is actually the one that has the Triforce.
regardless, it's extremely annoying to kill. With sword especially.
And less so annoying, more so very long. This is a good 2-minute clear for this room alone.
Oh, definitely.
This is definitely one of those instances where Janthe's just superior combat options really pays off.
No, more than that. Is even now he's got the magical sword damage is just a bomb drop. With white sword and wand on these bunnies. If he buys arrows, then that room's 2 seconds and you're out.
Wait, looks like SassageLink explored that entire ladder block section, and there was no Triforce.
Interesting. We just missed something. We missed a bomb hole or something in 5 then.
Yeah, looks like Janthe, or maybe there was a room that just Janthe was unable to clear at the time. Maybe it was a boss block. Either way, Janthe making their way through 3. They do got the power bracelet. They don't have the Triforce yet, though.
Yeah, with Compass, we'll have the Triforce here pretty quickly.
And that would pretty much clear up the first 5 dungeons for both our runners. Or at least for Janthe.
Sausage is going to have to go kill that Gliok if he wants any sort of upgrade. Now, more or less, you're going to get those 2 items out of 2 because they're pretty much in the path of the Triforce. So that's less of a concern on Sausage's side. He will get the upgrades. It's just a matter of how long does it take to get them and how big a lead does Janthe put with that red ring now up on the board.
Janthe getting that second item in 3, that heart container. And Janthe at this point will be pretty much out of options except to go to Vanilla 8. Has to buy that candle.
Or goes and gets the bait and decides to go play in 7 with that red ring. Since Janthe did see the bait block. Oh! Now that could be interesting.
I didn't think we saw a heart container in 5.
I thought we saw one, but that is silvers on the floor.
Bow and silvers in 5. Now that does definitely even the playing field a bit, especially if Janthe takes a long time to go back to 5.
It really doesn't have a reason to go back to 5 until he's cleared everything else. That could be a decisive moment here in this race.
SassageLink does pick up that bomb upgrade. He does have enough left over to use some arrows. I'd be a bit more inclined to not take it just because I would want to have a lot of arrow ammo now, but picks up that Triforce.
I believe we still have I believe we still have 2 large secrets on the board for Sausage to pick up, if not more. So less worried about that, as he is going to have to go to Vanilla 8 at some point. And you just burn that secret and get your arrow refill right there.
Janthe heading into 7 like you had guessed. I am curious why both runners seem to be avoiding Vanilla 8 like the plague.
I mean, at this point, it makes sense. It's either 8 or it's 6. You'd much rather, if possible, go mode 6. 8 wouldn't be a bad go mode either. And in Sausage's case, one of these dungeons is recorder blocked. So you're not looking for the recorder in there. So I'm going to clear out anything easy first, go into that last dungeon because I'm full clearing it and immediately going.
Fair enough,
To the
although
last
I'd
dungeon.
hardly call this a 7 easy. But look at where SassageLink is going. Back into 2.
We'll get the combat upgrades. Probably not going to go into 1 right away. I would imagine Sausage will go into 1 before fully digging 6 to look for the recorder. If it's at Vanilla 8. If Vanilla 8's there, it's kind of depending on your enemy set. Might go back in. He knows what room has the item. Wasn't happy about it, but with 14 bombs, he might care a little bit less.
Now, Janthe won't be able to kill this Goma. We'll be able to clear out this room, though, and see what's to the south.
Janthe might want to put the wand away. That's not going to fight off a Wizrobe. Bombs, on the other hand, would be the choice application here.
Meanwhile, SassageLink wishing he had the wand for this Gleeok, but I believe the white sword is the item that drops in this room, so as long as he doesn't take 4 hits in succession.
Ooh, was taking a lot of hits, but a lot more health this time. I mean, we had 1 heart or 2 hearts when we came in the first time, so this is going a little bit better. Routing through the body, I like that. The head kind of playing defense here on him, though. Gets the kill.
That was clutch. If he had died there, that would have been devastating.
Yeah, he's gonna dig the second item out of here without a doubt. It's such an easy thing, and Janthe's gonna get the first item in 7 up being a heart container.
We are pretty quickly running out of places to look. Yeah, only just 1 item in 7, and then it has to be under
the candle. Yep, you're right.
So if I were SassageLink, what would I do next?
I would consider going to 1 at this point.
Yeah, that
You've got
one
full
item...
health and 13 bombs. That 1 item is bugging me. And I know what room it's in.
Yeah, and with the white sword and wand now, your combat, and the bombs, your combat is so much better now.
Well, I take that back. I probably go to 8, Vanilla 8 first, burn it and see what's in it. If it's 6, or if it's stuffed full of Wizrobes and Lionels, I immediately go back to 1.
Because, I mean, the play you could make is just go to 6, get the Triforce, go to 8, and just leave when you get the Triforce, and just make the gamble that it's not going to be there, but take any item you happen to run across on the way. Now we are looking at quite a bit more of 7. Looks like that bait block might not have led to anything important.
Or it could be holding the key to this whole seed and have the recorder under it. We'll have to wait and see what the floor item in here is. And that's the worst thing, is if you have to dig a dungeon. It is level 8 and level 8, which means 6 is under Recorder Lake, which... That's a good news for SassageLink, as we'll be able to do 6 in go mode.
Yeah, that's always nice, although 8 is larger often than 6. Just has 1 more item. And honestly speaking, that's not that big of an 8.
No, that's not a bad 8. And it's pretty well connected. There's no segmentation, so we're just going to have the 1 transport staircase. So this should be a relatively... I said, and we do have the Wizrobe set in here, though. Early Triforce, interesting.
Oh, now that is...
That makes you worry, as Sausage finds the Wizrobes. They say hello.
If Janthe finds progression in 7, and that could very, very well mean that 8 is useless. And with how how much of a time bailing on an early 8 would save over digging all the items, it could really swing either way depending on the items where they are.
Yeah, it's also going to depend on how confident Janthe is digging for silvers in 9. He's got the Triforce out of 5, so the likeliness of going back into 5 to dig silvers goes way down at that point. You're going to want to clear dungeons, 6, 7, and 8 looking for silvers.
Janthe having some trouble with the slaughter by the Wizrobes. Yeah,
even with Red Ring, these Wizrobe Lionel rooms, there's just not a good way to fight them. There's so much projectile and there's so many different ways to die in the room, and there's not a good one-size-fits-all weapon. Like, here you can pull silvers out and just, mow through the room like Sausage is doing.
I'd honestly just drop a bomb. Or 3.
I mean, yes, after the upgrade, I would be dropping bombs left and right in that room, but at the same time, you're still having to dodge the swords and the beams. So it's just not a convenient room to fight in.
You do see an item. Oh, it's the flu! That's go mode.
It is. Sausage is going to go immediately grab that Triforce, most likely, and be out of this.
Suddenly this match is just swung in the complete opposite direction. Janthe was running away with it, now SassageLink is running away with it. Oh, but SassageLink is digging for more items.
I very easily could be I would like a heart container more. I'd like no, there's a red candle on the floor.
I mean, that is a fair thing to say. He's got 7 hearts, no ring. Even with the white sword, that's going to be a hard Ganon fight, especially if he's in a bad run. Now, the one solace is, we know for a fact that we will not have to fight Wizrobes and Lionels in level 9, just because we've already seen them in 4 different dungeons. They can't be in a 5th.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Looks like we are going to find the 3rd item, though.
It's dark there. I mean, I don't hate the play here. I know in one of my races, I dug a dungeon for an extra room or 2 and walked out with a red ring. So, I mean, I don't hate the play. I understand it. And a question here. No, Sausage did not see the red ring in 1. It was under a pack of blue Wizrobes and red Lionels. It was not a fun room to combat, and at the time, he didn't have a lot of resources to deal with it. Janthe came back in with the bomb upgrade and just mowed through the room.
Something I do want to say is just how insanely fast this level 8 clear was for SassageLink. All 3 items and the Triforce, and he only had to go through, 12 rooms?
Yeah, it routed very well. The 7's giving Janthe a difficult time. I don't believe we've even seen the Triforce here, so Sausage is going to have to spend some... Now, we don't have a map, but that is a map of... Oh, boy.
Do you think it might actually be bait blocked?
We've seen a lot of the north from Janthe. Yeah, I don't know. It very well could be at this point.
And also, let's not forget that we did see that Goma and Dig Dogger that could also be guarding items. Janthe does not have the means to kill either.
I do agree with Sausage. You're picking the potion up, knowing what's waiting for you in 7.
Oh, definitely.
Probably going to route this 4, 6, 7. That would be the way I would at least go. That way, as you're going left, you're just going to pick up the Triforce, come out of full health, go to the next dungeon. So that would be the route I would take here. Probably not going to get enough heart containers to get mags. So we're happy to have White Sword.
Something I would definitely do is pick up that bait, just to be on the safe side. The odds are low that it's bait blocked, but I mean, in hindsight, we know that it's actually highly likely. And even just from a safety standpoint, why have to
looks like
go to 7 again?
Janthe is going that route. Nope. There's no bait in that shop. I don't remember which shop had the bait, actually.
I believe it was the C shop with the candle. There are two bait shops, a cheap one and an expensive one. The expensive one was well over 100, I believe, but I think the cheap one was in the 80s.
Yeah, so the real question here for those of you just joining us or coming in late, SassageLink found the silvers in 5. Janthe was in 5, got the bow, and left early without finding that second item. So it's going to be a matter of when does Janthe realize they're out of options and have to go to a dungeon they've already got the Triforce out of, versus how quickly can Sausage get this done without the red ring.
And let's not forget, Janthe isn't entirely out of options. They just need to buy a candle and head to the forest. Of course, if they do find that recorder, then that gives them even another dungeon to dig, level 6, and then things start to become a problem. SassageLink is going to find that staircase item in 4. Gonna be picking up that heart container. He was hoping it'd be a red ring, but extra health isn't a bad substitute. Now the chat is asking, why doesn't SassageLink go back into 1? Yeah, you might say, yeah, there's an argument for going back. However, if SassageLink is confident in his ability at a 9-heart White Sword Ganon fight, then maybe he just doesn't see the need, especially with the potion. Additionally, he does know where the item is, but again, we don't know what item it is on his side. Could be the red ring. The red ring could also be buried in 9.
Yeah, the other piece to this is we know where 2 large secrets are. It would not surprise me while Sausage is over here if he burns the 100 secret, which is exactly where he's headed right now, picks that up, picks up another 100 secret on the other side if he hadn't picked that one up, or picks up a couple of mediums and buys a blue ring. And just accepts that he's not going to find the red ring and just goes.
Now, Janthe did pick up those arrows, tried to get to that Goma room, but Troll Dongo said otherwise, and now Janthe is in a bit of a scramble. SassageLink scrambling in 6. I'm not sure why he left. Maybe think it was just to open
He's popping a door open. It looked like.
Apparently I stand corrected. You can have Wizrobes in 5 dungeons.
Yeah, I think it's 5 and 4. There's some split. I don't remember exactly what it breaks down to, but yeah. Speaking of bananas, there's one on the 4 and 6. We're gonna leave that there, unfortunately.
I believe how the enemies shuffle. Normally, if you don't shuffle enemy groups, your standard Wizrobe set has to be in 3 dungeons. Your Guria set has to be in 2 dungeons, and the 3rd set has to be in 2 dungeons, and then the last 2 can be any of those sets.
Alright, this has got to be my favorite 6 of all time. This looks like it was like 4 rooms total. Maybe 1 room total, possibly. No, there's a shoot room. Yeah. This was like 4 or 5 rooms, and there's your Triforce. I agree with Sausage there. Check the room, see if it's got something free on the floor or a staircase, and get out of here.
Fortunately, it wasn't a shutter room. That can be a bit of a problem, especially early on if you just are like, oh, just one more room, and then if you're deep in the dungeon, game's like, oh yeah, one more room, but you've gotta clear the room in order to leave.
You got wand, you got white sword. Whatever's in that room is not much of a problem.
Yeah.
Sausage is going to take the long route through the forest. We don't see this often. A lot of runners like to screen scroll, but if you're having trouble screen scrolling or anything, you can just go ahead and take the path. That's why all the glitches are not required that we do so.
I have noticed that SassageLink has had quite a bit of trouble with clipping, screen scrolling. Janthe has been doing a much better job of that. I say as SassageLink immediately proves me wrong.
Yeah. Some days I come in and I'm just like, I can't screen scroll. I'm just walking. I cannot make it work for whatever reason. And then some days it's like that. It's the first time. You're like, okay. So I completely understand taking the route through the desert.
And it looks like Sausage is actually gonna go get that bait. Now, something to note about screen scrolling. Yeah, it's an advanced technique, and if you can get it quickly, definitely saves time. I do find a lot of newer runners, they're like, oh, I've learned this technique, it saves so much time. And then they spend longer to try and screen scroll across the screen than it would take to cross the screen the other way, the normal.
So the real advantage to screen scroll when starts to come in when you have things like Lionels and Wizrobes on the overworld. And crossing that screen all of a sudden now becomes a hazard to your health. Overworld deaths in this flag set are extremely costly. So anytime you can get around a screen that's going to kill you, it's better than taking that death. As both of our runners are going to be looking for the Triforce in here. Janthe is going to be looking for I believe the second item, as we found a heart container in here. Oh, well, this is a surprise.
It can't be, we already found the staircase item. I believe this can still have a floor drop, though. Sure can. Not the, floor drop we're looking for, however.
So, bait not required, just the trolley key.
But there is still that other loose Digdogger and that loose Goma. Janthe taking another crack at this. Honestly, if I'm Janthe, I really don't like what Janthe is doing. I think that spending so long in a dungeon like this really just isn't the play, especially when you've already got one item in here and you've been having a lot of trouble when you've got a full dungeon that you haven't even explored, haven't even looked at. You have no idea if it's going to be a free dungeon, if the enemies are going to be easy, if it's going to have the items that you need, which would mean looking for the other item in 7 is pointless.
No, I do understand the play. At a certain point, though, you've kind of, in looking at Janthe's map, you've been in so many of these rooms that you're pretty much down to 4 or 5 rooms that have to be the solution. As we're going to see what's under this Goma here in just a second. Well, there's the compass, so that's not being able to kill that Goma. Now Janthe with arrows is going to be able to kill the Goma in the room. Oh, he's got the compass. I missed that.
Yeah, he did pick up the, Janthe did pick up the compass on his second time through.
Wizards are playing defense over here on SassageLink. He's going to have to be very careful with the door strats. That fairy's a trap. Don't go get it.
But again, Janthe is just moving further and further away, only to find scrap metal on the floor.
I mean, I get it. You don't want to have to come back here and dig this dungeon again. It's not been a pleasant place to be. You know where the Triforce is. You now know both items. You can move on and continue looking for your silvers in your recorder. Worst case would be is that the recorder's in here and you left. Like that's what you're kind of thinking.
True. Although I still, you can argue both ways.
Yeah, it just depends on your philosophy of running. I'm one who I I really like to have dungeons finished. I don't like to leave items if I can, if I can get them out of dungeons. Because the minute you leave it, it's the bow, or silvers, or recorder, and now you're forced to go back in. Is Sausage is going to grab the 7th and final Triforce here. We'll be headed into 9 again. Might make a play on mags here. 10 hearts. There's no harm in at least looking at it.
Yeah, you're right
on the
beside
way
him.
out.
20% chance. Now he does have quite the lead, although he doesn't know that. But looks like he is going to try that mags.
Yeah, I mean, you lose, 20 seconds here, but if you get it... Oh my, we have a 10 heart mag.
If you get it, it saves a lot more than 20 seconds.
Well, and the other thing is not having red ring. Now that Ganon fight is 4 hits. All of a sudden... Now, yes, you take 4 hearts of damage when Ganon hits you, so you can only take 3 hits. But... that fight is much shorter. And with the potion... Yeah, that's... You check it no matter what if you're right there.
Yeah, and especially with... we know that level 9 will not have a hard enemy set. I really don't see SassageLink having any troubles with combat.
Yeah, combat,
The
not
only
so
trouble will
much.
Yeah. Only issues will be finding the magic bomb hole.
Or the magic staircase behind the magic bomb holes. We have a 3-directional 9 here.
So, as we're entering 9, let's go over the rundown of what we normally find. We say this every race. We are looking for 2 things: the beast and the girl. So,
Yeah, nice.
Why don't you tell us what we need to look for to find the beast?
Well, you'll be listening for the sound of him roar. You'll be looking for a room that you walk into and it turns dark. You'll know Ganon's in there. Because in Shapes, there are no dark rooms in 9. I believe there are no dark rooms in Shapes except for Ganon's room.
That is correct.
So we'll be listening for that. We'll be looking for Zelda's shutter door. We'll clear a room out and it won't open, or if we've killed Ganon, then we will see the door open with the enemies still in there. The other thing you might see our runners do is, as Janthe's got the pause screen up looking at this 5 very questionably, but he's back in 5. If he makes the decision to dig the silvers out here, it looks like he potentially has. Still looking for the recorder. He doesn't know that it's in 8 at this point.
Yeah, it is good to dig some of these dungeons.
I'm wondering if he's mismarked something on his tracker that has got him confused as to where the recorder is.
I still really question the play of not going back or not going to Vanilla 8, because yeah, it can be annoying to leave one item in a dungeon, but when you're missing more than one item, you know that you're going to have to go to that other dungeon eventually anyway.
I'm wondering if he just forgot that he needs to go to Vanilla 8. I'm wondering if that's the case here. I know I've done it for the recorder spot, a dozen of times where you're just like, oh, I don't know where this dungeon is, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's a dungeon in the recorder lake. Yep. So very easily could. But back to what I was saying with Sausage. If he enters a room with a boss in it, a Patra, a Goma, anything like that, they can mask. And the shutter door can mask the roar of Ganon too. So you may see him walk into a room and walk back out, just trying to see if he actually heard the sound or if it was just a door playing tricks on him.
We can also find the compass in level 9, which will tell us the location of Zelda.
Oh, Janthe never bought a candle. He just now bought the candle.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Looks like Janthe finally realized that they need to get down to that forest immediately. Now we do see that this room is not where Zelda is. It is a staircase potentially though, so it could lead to where she is, however. Always gotta watch out for the magic staircases in 9.
Yeah, so Kevin, what's your choice on routing 9? I'm a big fan of staying on the ground if I'm not looking for an item. How do you kind of like to take on 9 in situations like that?
Well, obviously, if I'm looking for an item,
As well,
yeah, I'm gonna interrupt myself here. We found Zelda. Now we just need the beast.
yeah, so back to what you're saying, you know, if you're looking for an item, I think you're taking staircases, right?
Oh, definitely. If I'm not looking for an item, I definitely prefer to just make straight lines, if at all possible, and just sweep slowly, and just try and cover as much listening ground as possible. And then hopefully run into Zelda on the way to Ganon. If not, then I fill in the cracks.
And Janthe here is in 8. I believe at this point has to know. I'm pretty sure he has to know that Recorder's in 8 at this point.
Yeah, the only item he's missing is 1 and 5, but with the miss mark, it's tough. It's tough.
Actually, I think Janthe knows it's an 8. He did get the silvers out of 5, so this will be, thankfully, a quick 8, more or less.
SassageLink running into a dead end right of start. That happens quite often in 9. So many staircases, one of them is bound to lead you to just a trap.
Now, Janthe picking up the Triforce in 8. It's going to go back in. I normally would consider picking up the Triforce after I get the item, just because it takes you out of the dungeon with full health, where now you're kind of back in here with these enemies that can just drain that health. But if you're planning on up-Aing to go to 6 anyway, yeah, it's not the worst thing just to have it done. You can just do 2 quick up-A's and get out of here.
Yeah, and also there's just the potential, depending on where the Triforce is, of like, okay, I've got to clear these first 4 rooms again. Now, this time it was only 4 rooms, so it didn't take long, but sometimes it might take a bit longer.
Now, 6 was extremely quick, so we very easily could have Janthe reel SassageLink back in if Ganon is in an extremely trolly spot. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. But there is quite a lead in the exploration at this point. And
yeah, they do call 9 is the great equalizer for many reasons. I do notice that SassageLink passed up quite a number of staircases early on, somewhere in the middle of the dungeon. If Janthe takes those, then...
Yeah, it very easily could. And with Red Ring, that's going to be the other piece. Is, yes, Sausage has the potion, but a couple of Hyrule drivers and Janthe can come in and take this 9.
Yeah, especially if he's in a bad room. Certain rooms are a lot easier to fight Ganon in than others, namely ones that are filled with moats. Now, Janthe did pick up that recorder, and unlike SassageLink, not going to be digging any of the extra items in 8. Janthe doesn't need them. Janthe has the red ring, got all the combat that they'll ever need. Sausage is back in this Dodongo dead end.
While Janthe is eligible to pick up the magical sword, probably not going to, based on where level 6 is and where you'd have to go to get it. So that will be a slight difference. But white sword and magical sword with the red ring is not much of a difference in a fight. With the compass right there, this will be a very quick 6.
Yeah, especially an hour 9 minutes in, I wouldn't...
You're running to 9 as fast as possible while staring at the IRC screen.
Oh, but we have a Ganon sighting.
Ooh, in a Chevy room at that.
Oh, this might possibly be the worst room to fight Ganon in. Oh, but does he get the stun lock? He loses it. Oh, but he's doing a nice job being careful. I say, with him having to use that potion. Oh, but Ganon's dead.
He's got Ganon. This is all but just over now. As Janthe's going to head into 9 about the time he sees the done from SassageLink. Just a quick couple of staircases back to where Zelda was, and this will be over.
Can you remember exactly where she was? She was just a few rooms to the left. And, there we have it. SassageLink, finishing with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 5 seconds, taking Game 2 and being the victor of this match. Moving on to be facing RKC? There was a T in there somewhere.
RKC. We'll just go with RKC for tonight. But yes, definitely get your GGs out for SassageLink. We'll see if we can get him here in the interview booth here in just a minute. While we're waiting on that, though, we'll kind of start talking here about the final bit here for Janthe. He's going to wander his way around this 9. Ganon being in the upper right corner. Zelda being up in that kind of same area-ish with a staircase. But let's start talking about the rest of tonight, Kevin. Because if you liked this race, we have a plethora of races for you tonight, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. All of these times will be in Eastern. We have Game 2 of Can't Find Bombs and Sharky 2107. That will be on Randomania 4. That is Can't Find Bombs is up 1-0 in that one. Game 2 of Zebgedney vs. OPT Lawyer is going to be at 9 p.m. on Speed Gaming 4. That is Zebgedney's up 1-0 in that race. Let's see. When we have Homer J. Smash vs. Imasock, that will be here on Speed Gaming tonight at 9:30. And that is Game 2. Imasock's up 1-0. Chess Jerk vs. Dark Falls, that'll be on Randomania at 9:30 as well. Chess Jerk up 1-0. That was an incredible race. If you didn't see Game 1, it's like 20 seconds or less between the two of them. Absolutely must watch tonight for Game 2. And then rounding out the night, we have Sea Falcon versus DM1184. That'll be a Game 1 at 10 p.m. on Randomania 3. And then closing out the night tonight will be Bruised Fan JP versus Stun, our tracker tonight. That's a Game 3 over on Speed Gaming 4. That's going to be another fun one.
Janthe having some trouble finding Ganon and Zelda.
They were definitely in a difficult spot to find in this 9. You kind of had to go out of your way to locate.
Yeah, pretty much complete opposite ends of the dungeon. Zelda way on the west, Ganon way on the east.
But yeah, if you're interested in more on the schedule, the link is here in chat. You can also join the Discord to come hang out with all the runners, play this game. It's a ton of fun, right, Cap?
Definitely, it's definitely fun. It's definitely difficult if you're looking for a challenge. A lot of runners describe this as one of the harder Zelda randomizers they've done. Looks like we will be getting SassageLink in for an interview shortly. Janthe has found one of the important staircases. They are in the area of Zelda. And if they find the correct staircase that SassageLink took, shouldn't be too far to Ganon either. And we are...
Yep. Go ahead, Gavin.
Sorry about that. We are joined by SassageLink. How are you today?
I'm doing well now that that seed's over.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest seed, especially with 7. You didn't see the brunt of 7, but 7 was really large and really trolled Janthe for a long time.
I could imagine. I was debating on whether or not to search it a little extra for the red ring. Wasn't sure if it was there 1, 8, or 9, but just decided to keep going. Ended up getting mags there, which helped a lot.
We can confirm where the red ring is for you. It was in 1. It was that Wizard Lionel room that you decided not to mess with.
Okay, that makes sense. Something that good would be in a room that hard.
Yeah. So for a while, Janthe came into 2, grabbed the white sword and wand, right after you died to that Gliok, and then proceeded to go to 1 and take advantage of that and grab the red ring as well. And for a moment, we were concerned that this was going to be completely the other direction, but what really turned this around was you found the silvers in 5, way before Janthe. Janthe had the Triforce and bow out of 5, and it was a very long time before he came back and spent a ton of time in 7.
Okay, I can definitely see that happening. I just kind of had a hunch after finding the bow in 5 that, okay, there's something else important in here, so I kept digging.
Yeah, another thing that really helped was you went to Vanilla 8 first and found that recorder, and that really helped cemented it. You were the first one to go to A, and for the most part, both of you actually avoided level 8 for quite a while.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question there, Kevin, is what was going through your mind with that 8? As far as, or at least the Vanilla 8 location, you decided to leave that and just not venture in there until you had to.
That one, it just kind of ended up being the way my routing was working out for me. Had a lot of combat in those dungeons, so I decided to keep hitting a little bit of what I was already hitting, get a few Triforces, get built up a little.
Well, it certainly paid off. You had an astonishingly fast level 8 clear. I think it was about 12, 14 rooms, and you had all 3 items and the Triforce. It really worked out well.
Yeah, I got fortunate with that. I don't think I found the floor item in there, but I definitely got both the cellar items.
It was the red candle. You
saw
ran over.
Oh, that's right. I just didn't mark it down.
Yeah, at that point you're in Triforce and Go. You're just like, yeah, I picked up an item. I don't know what it was. I don't care.
Yeah, I felt like I was, at that point I was playing catch up, so I was just rolling as fast as...
So anyway, you mentioned it wasn't going to 8 early wasn't really part of your route. Talk us through your route. You went to 3 early on, then you just kind of took the power bracelet. I think you went to 7 next. Talk us through how you routed.
That one I got the power bracelet, so I once I got out of 3, I immediately went over to the standard Armos spot, and when I found out it was over in the East Woods, I ended up going over that way and ended up doing hopped into level 9, found that check the coast. Seeing as I had the raft, I went up to Vanilla 5, and I had enough hearts, checked the white sword.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more unusual route, really stemming from the fact that you got that early power bracelet, really useful for movement early on.
Yeah, that helped me out a ton. That way too, I was able to, I think within 10 minutes, have the Armos item and find out what both the white sword and the ladder.
Yeah, definitely. So something I do wonder a bit on is, how tempted were you to just double dip some of these dungeons that you had to bail on early? Notably, 1 and 2. You saw that you went into 1, you got the Triforce, had to leave before you could get any of the items. Had to leave 2 because you got walled, and then it took a bit for you to get back there.
Yeah, I was really tempted to keep going back, but I was just trying to let the natural progression take over more than double dip.
Well, it worked out well for you, especially with this difficult combat seed. 5 dungeons having Wizrobe and Lionel combos.
And 4 deaths. Like, congratulations on that. You didn't pick up the red ring. You didn't buy a blue ring. It was wand and white sword was really quite late for you. You did most of this green tunic wood sword, and just absolutely fantastic combo.
Thank you. I felt like it was pretty bad at times, but there were a few times I really got in the groove with it and just kept going.
Well, Janthe has found the where Zelda is on their side. Still looking for the beast. Any final thoughts you'd like to add, SassageLink? I don't think I've got any more questions for you.
Nope. Just preemptive GGs to Janthe, and I'm still kind of shocked I ended up beating him. He's really, really good blue ring vanilla player, and somebody like Janthe is really tough.
Oh, definitely. He's got Ganon right now, so he's going to have a few more stabs, but he's got the red ring, so this will go a little smoother. He's got the...
One more final question. As you did take the victory, so you are going to be moving on in the tournament to be facing RCK. Any thoughts or reservations on how that match might go?
Not really. I know it's going to be another really difficult opponent. It's another person that's just a fantastic racer. So I hope for the best of luck for both of us, and that we can put on a good show. Winner.
Definitely. There are no easy outs in this tournament at this point.
No, there aren't.
Well, you certainly gave us a great show, as did Janthe. It was really back and forth for a while. You did eke out the win, but Janthe is going to be finishing with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 47 seconds. And they will be joining the French restream, Speed Gaming Francais, for an interview, I believe.
Yeah, so GG to Janthe. One of our French runners here in the Z1R community. And that's right, we do have runners from all over the world in this, so it's a lot of fun to see and have the community like this. So we're going to do some wrap-up stuff. It's going to take just a little bit. We're going to give the French restream some time to do their questions. So, Kevin, any thoughts on the seed before we start doing the wrap-up stuff?
I'm glad I wasn't the one playing it.
I'm afraid I'm afraid I'm the one who rolled it, so I'm going to be punished for this one.
Yeah, definitely a rough seed. I think, theoretically, if I were to do it, my normal route would be to go to 3. I would get the power bracelet, clear that. Then I would head up to 1, get walled by the just the difficult combat, and then head to the Armos, check out 7, bail on that, head to the forest. I'd probably be trying to get the candle and head to 8 early on, so by my route, I would probably have pretty much all of the items in 8 right away, so I'd probably actually dig most of 6, just due to a lack of many other options, but I'd put that off for heading up to 2, White Sword, then Vanilla 5. Then, of course, I'd dig 6, and then I'd really start to clean up some of these dungeons. 1, and then 3, and then probably do 7 last. Also fit 4 in there.
Not a bad choice, especially with the knowledge that we have. Because that's always the thing, is from the booth, we can call a lot of different things, but when you're playing, it's a
Yeah.
whole different ballgame.
Yeah, you never know when an unexpected death, a bomb, or key shortage might throw a complete wrench in your crafted route.
Yes. Yeah, so again, give both of these runners a follow. And links are here in chat. They put on a great show. There'll be more Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament here as we've described. Plenty more tonight. We've got just a plethora of races, and all through the weekend, and even matches scheduled through next week already. So, follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6, I believe they're at now. And, the Randomania family of networks 1 through 4 as well, for all your Z1R action. Another event going on here in a couple weeks is Speed Gaming Live. They're going to have some live randomizer tournaments, a full, I believe, a 4-day marathon it is.
Yeah, lots of live speedrunning mini tournaments per se, for a lot of high stakes prizes. Some of the best for various different games. I know there's been some talk. And not just for vanilla, for some randomizers too. I know there's been a lot of talk for A Link to the Past, Zelda 1, and SMB3 randomizer, and vanilla, among plenty of other games.
And then there's plenty of events going on here on Speed Gaming as well. They've got Undertale tournament going on, and just a whole bunch of various different stuff. So if you're interested in Speed Gaming, interested in randomizers, both Speed Gaming and Randomania, great channels here to follow and get your fix of these types of things.
Yeah, and so this was one of our final actual matches of the round of 128. I believe we only have 3 or 4 round of 128 matches left to wrap up, and after that, starting next week, we will be finishing up the round of 64. And so our round of 128 was 2 weeks. Every other week after that will be 1 week. So we're going to be wrapping up this tournament pretty quickly with a lot of really high stakes top runner matches. So it's going to start getting exciting. And of course, let's thank everyone involved. It takes a lot of people to get these matches done. Not just our runners, of course. Feel free to follow them, and our commentators, myself and Noray, and Shinton One, our tracker, but also our restreamers. A lot of work goes behind the scenes, not just setting up cropping our runners' channels, but setting up the restream, getting all the tracking and automation done, and a lot of the coordination and organization. So we should really give them a big thank, because there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
Definitely. So I think with that, we're going to wrap it up here. Well, at least on our end. They are still interviewing Janthe over on Speed Gaming Francis, so we're going to stay live here, but Kevin and I are going to head out for the night. Again, thank you for watching. Tune into all the races tonight. Keep staying in for Speed Gaming, and there'll be more for you here.
We'll catch you next time.